everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of a hashtag hop for Team Tiny, and I'll talk a little bit more about the hop as we go through the video. We're going to be making 2 cards using Distress Oxides on black cardstock. So here are the 2 that we're going to be making, and we're going to start off with the one on the left, the Wild About You. I used some Spotlight oval stencils from Honeybee stamps, and you can see I have a little bit of washi tape on the back of it. This is the second smallest oval, I believe. So we're going to place that down so that we save room for the sentiment, so we don't put the stencil over top of it. So this is a Kindred Stamps stencil. I believe it's called Leopard, and I used some pixie spray on the back of it, and I'm now going to use some Distress Oxide and Carved Pumpkin to ink up that stencil, ink up that background. So just going around the edges, making sure that I get get near the oval, because you want to make sure that you have a clean, crisp oval once you finish the stencil. And that's just what I was checking to make sure that I was doing a good enough job. Because if you get a wonky edge, it's going to look a little funny. So make sure that you go onto the mask to make sure you get all of the areas. So once that's done, I'm going to peel both of those off, and like I said, because that oval was there, it's going to actually protect that area, and then we're going to be able to stamp the sentiment down on it, and you'll be able to read it because there will be a nice open area for it. So I'm going to put those off to the side, let that dry for a couple of minutes because it's Distress Oxide and it takes a little bit longer to dry. And we're going to do the inside of the card. Both of the black pieces are 4 by 5 1/4. And we're now going to use an image from Sassy and Crafty from the stamp set Be Anything. And I absolutely love these unicorns. So this unicorn has a little paint bucket on the side of it, and all of my nieces absolutely love to do crafts with me. So I'm not sure who I'm going to give this to, or I may just make 4 of them. But I'm inking up the unicorn in the Distress Oxide Picked Raspberry ink, and I did have to stamp it a couple times because it is Distress Oxide and that's not really a stamping ink, but I think it looks amazing on black cardstock. So now we're going to ink up the sentiment that we left the room for, and that Wild About You comes from the Concord and 9th Toucan Paradise stamp set. Now, when the twins and Nora were little, I made up this song Wild for them just to make them laugh, and they absolutely love it, and Nora makes me do it with Mila all the time. So this is absolutely the perfect sentiment for the cards for the girls. I just thought that it would be really cute. I am inking up, like I said, with Distress Oxide in Picked Raspberry. Again, I did ink this up a couple times because it's not a great stamping ink. So I put that aside to dry for a couple minutes, and then I got out my white Signo Uniball pen, and I'm just outlining the letters and then putting some dots around just to decorate it. So while you're watching me do this, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the hashtag event. Team Tiny is a collective group of members over on Facebook that do YouTube videos that have less than 1,000 subscribers, and we do at least 1 hop a month, sometimes 2. And we are trying to gain followers and to get our names out there. There are so many talented people in this group and in this hop. I hope that you guys hop along with us. All you have to do is click on the hashtag that is in my title, or type the hashtag into the search bar and you'll find everybody's videos that are associated with this. So please make sure you hop along with us. We really, really love when you watch the videos, comment, subscribe, like. It really means a lot to us because we are smaller channels that are trying to grow. So now back to the card. I am going to be picking out some of the Trinity Stamps jewels that I've had. This one was from a Create and Inkspire kit. I think it was one of the first ones that I got, and I'm trying to use them. I'm trying to remember that I do have other supplies that I do need to use. So I am picking those out. And it's funny, I'm looking at the card now, and even though it's Picked Raspberry on the black, it almost looks like, you can see on the bottom of the T, that looks pink, but the rest of it looks purple. It's very interesting on camera because that's not how it looks in real life. But I love the way it looks on camera. I kind of wish it looked like that in person. But it is more of a pink. I think it's just the light. I got a new background. If you notice, that is a baking mat. It's like a silicone baking mat that my mom found when we were taking stuff out of her house, and when we were taking stuff out of the kitchen, and I was like, oh, I can use that. So I decided to use it in my crafting. So I think that's what it is. I think it's just the light reflection off the mat. But that is, the first card is pretty much done. Now we're just going to put some ATG on the back of it and put it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white note card. And then that'll be done. I'll write a little note on the inside to the girls. I might stamp Happy Valentine's Day, but I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do. I like to leave the inside blank most of the time until I actually get ready to send it out. So that completes the first card. I think that's so adorable. Very cute and very fast to make. So the second one, we are going to take again. So I cut this black cardstock down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but I actually will cut it down later on to 4 by 5 1/4. And this is a heart stencil. I believe this is from Simon Says Stamp, maybe, or Honeybee, but I can't. I think it is Simon Says Stamp. But anyway, I am taking 3 colors of Distress Oxide, Spun Sugar at the bottom. The middle is some picked raspberry, and the top is Candied Apple. And I don't love the way the Candied Apple came out. I thought that it was going to be more of a red. This was very, very faded. Once you see it, it almost looks like a tone on tone. It didn't come out really, really well. If I was to do this over again, I would probably use an abandoned coral, more of a orangey red. I think that would show up a little bit better on the black cardstock. But again, it's the way that it came out, and I'm happy with it. So you can't really see the top. It almost looks like I used Versamark on it. So now we're going to be using Concord and Knight's Monster Love and some Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide to stamp out the monster. Again, if I had to do this over again, I would make sure that I watched my placement, because there's actually a heart over one of his eyes, and I didn't even realize it. It's actually, I mean, I don't know if you can really see it, but I know that it's there. When I went to go put the eyeballs in, I noticed it. So I stamped that down a couple times. Again, I just showed you one time. And then I'm picking out the heart with the hands on it, and we're using more of that picked raspberry because I wanted a stronger pink in there. I really love the way Peacock Feathers and picked raspberry look together. So it's just stamping that out, and then I was trying to find a sentiment, and I wasn't really sure. None of the sentiments really looked good in there. I loved the Love You font on that, but it just wouldn't fit in the heart. It was a little bit too big. So I found this other Concord and Ninth stamp set, and I believe it's called All My Love, and there's a Love You at the bottom. Now it fit across the heart, and it looked fine, but I thought it left the heart looking pretty empty. So you're going to see me, and I know this, and I'm sorry, I know I'm a little bit off camera, but I actually cut it. I cut that stamp, and it's going to be completely fine. You can glue it back together. It's not that big of a deal. You don't even have to glue it back together. When you actually line it right back up, it'll line up like it's one stamp. So you don't do any harm to it as long as you don't cut through any of the letters. So I'm going to ink that up with some MFT Sweet Tooth pigment ink because I wanted it stamped in white. I thought that looked really nice. I could have gone with a picked raspberry, but I went with the white because we're going to add a little bit of white gel pen in a couple of minutes. So now I'm going to take the card base and their card front and put it on the card base, and it is a piece of Kraft cardstock that is folded into an A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to take my Jelly Roll pen and put the eyes in, and then I'm going to actually put the highlight on. Then I'm going to, I color in the horns and the teeth at one point, but actually first I take a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen and go over the heart just to give it a little bit of shine. So this card is pretty much done. I don't do anything to the inside of it, but I just think that those added little touches there with the sparkle pen and then going back in with the white gel pen on his little teeth there and his little horns just give him a little bit of cute dimension and a little bit more color. So I hope that you really like this hop. I hope that you guys are enjoying seeing everybody's love cards. Again, the hashtag in the title, you can click on that and you can find everyone else's submissions, or you can type it into the search bar. hops are so much fun. We have such a great time putting them together. I usually participate in about one a month. So Team Tiny is a very supportive community, and I want to thank everybody who put this hop together. So it was a lot of fun. So now I'm using the Trinity stamps again because I kind of wanted the cards to go together, and I thought it needed a little bit more sparkle. So I'm doing it a little bit different than I did this time. I actually am going to pick out my jewel picker. It's a silhouette one, and I absolutely can't stand it. I wish I hadn't spent money on it, but I did, so I'm going to use it. I looked at a couple other ones on Amazon. Let me know down in the comments, do you have a jewel picker that's not super, super expensive? Because the Katana one is like $30, and I'm not spending $30 on it because kind of cheap. But if you have a jewel picker that you really, really like and you found on Amazon or anywhere at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or anything like that, let me know down below in the comments, because this one has like a little, it's like that putty we used to use to put posters up, and it'll pick the jewel up, but it won't let it go. It's not my favorite thing in the world. But anyway, I'm just adding the Trinity jewels to this just to give it a little bit of sparkle, because the girls love sparkle. I'll probably give this to one of the girls as well, and they just absolutely love anything that sparkles and shines and is glittery. So I thought that I would add this and, kind of make the two cards go together. I hope that you like the idea of distress oxides on black cardstock. I think it really makes it pop. It's one of the only ones that will work on black cardstock. So there are the cards. Here's some pictures of it. Thank you guys so much for watching, for commenting, subscribing, and liking the videos. Please hop along with us, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.